Okay, I got it. Okay, so here we go. We got the word hello, and we have it in that little shape. The next thing I'm going to do is come down here to the lower right-hand side, as I said, and click on that little arrow that pops out on mine. Yours may be a little different. And come again to the warp tool, and you can tell that's the one because it's all warped looking. Click on that. And then it says warp the selected shapes. So if I didn't have the word hello selected, but I had the outer part and I said warp selected shapes, it's going to allow me to warp this outer thing right here, right? All right, so I can restore the original shape. And what I want to warp is the word hello. So I selected that. And now I'm going to say warp those selected shapes. So again, you're going to learn how many of these little sections you want. Oops, where did that go? Right here. Again, right now we have the 3, which I usually leave the divisions alone. The columns, I have 1 column. I'm going to change that. 1. I'm just kind of looking at my letters and how many I have. Okay, that's quite a few. And I think I'll just leave the rows alone again. So I have 3, which it comes in at for divisions over here. For columns, I have 4. And for rows, I have 1. And there is no rhyme or reason to doing this. I'm just trying this out. So you can try whatever numbers you want to over there. So I'm going to start again here at the upper left-hand corner, make my H go all the way up. And I'll make it go all the way down. And then I usually like to go to the other side. Let's see. And do the same thing over here. So I'm just making it touch that outer line or the inner line that I have, like that. And again, what I didn't do, but I could have done, remember, made this line darker, this line right here, so it's easier to see. I'm going to have to try to remember doing that because I think that was helpful. Now just pull the L down. See how that's getting crazy looking? Okay, we're going to pull it down like that and see what we can do with that then. If I use this little button right here, this little thing, I can change it. And then if I use these little black ones, these kind of go from the center. Actually, I think they're blue. So you just play around with this to get it to be the way you want it to be. Oops, I lost them again. So click out, click back in. There they are back. And I wish I had made those lines darker because I can't see them very well at all. Okay, so that L did really well. Let's see if I can fix this one. Can't really see the lines well. Oh, because it's way down there. No wonder I couldn't see it. Okay, that looks okay right now. Let's go back to this E. Let's see where the line is. It's way down here. I forgot. So you notice what I did first was I used this big orange square here, and then to get the center part to come down, I used this here. So you use those little handles. And let me get the H, and then we'll start working at the top. All right, here's where this is. Okay. Bring down the H. Pretty good. All right, and now I need to stretch this part of the H. I'm at the top now. Okay, so notice I started with this button right here to kind of, whoops, lost it, get it back, click out, click back in. Okay, I started with this up here to move the H part up some, but I wasn't able to get this little corner here. So I came here and got this little dot node and was able to move it up. See how that's moving it? And, oops. I'm going to do the same thing here. Let's see, I'm going to move it up. No, I'm going to move it up with this. There we go. Perfect for that part of the H. The E is just a tiny bit high. So this just takes practice to just try this note or a little handle, try that one. And I don't know, I think it's kind of fun. Going to bring this part up now. Okay, the L. Notice it's over top of the line right here. So I think I can just move this one to move it down a little bit. There we go. Okay, I messed up this part of the L down here. I might, whoopsie, work on that in a minute. Let me finish up here though. Click off and click back on because I lost it. Use the bigger tool first, part of the tool first, to raise it right up. And then any adjusting you have to do, you start to refine it with these smaller ones. And then these even change it a little more. Okay, let's see the L. Okay, so did you notice that I had that L here going up right there in the center? And that's not the way it should be. So I grabbed this little circle and was able to pull it down to straighten it out like that. That looks pretty good. This L is a little bit crazy, wonky. I have him turning the wrong way. I can try to straighten him up a little bit by grabbing this node up here or this handle, straighten that up. All right, now that I'm looking at the O over here, it's too large. So I'm going to use this to bring it down a bit. To fit inside. And again with the same here to bring it up to fit inside. I think that's pretty good. Okay, that looks pretty good to me. Now, oh, that E got messed up, but we're not going to continue on. You know, you could continue adjusting these things for a while. So let's say we're done and we're going to go ahead and click on this and color it. Okay, and then we're going to move this out. But that's not the way I want it to be. So let me hit the undo button. So actually, though, the first thing that we should do is click out, click back into that part, and I must have already released the warp because that, okay, there we go. All right, so now what we have to do is we can just color the outside if we want to. I might want to color the inside part first white. Let's see what happens. Some of this is trial and error for me. I'm just figuring which one to do first, and the same will happen to you. So I did the inside by the letters white. Now I'm going to do the offset that color. So I did this one differently than the other one. Maybe I'll make these letters orange as well. So anyway, this is just so that you can see how to play with the warp tool and you can play with the colors and adding more. Oh, look at that. Y'all see that? That happens all the time when you use the warp tool, and it's not a problem. What you just have to do is when you have these is if you group them, then you won't see those. It always makes these two parts like this from what I understand. So all you have to do, I'll hit the undo button to put it back, is if you just group them, and now you don't have that problem anymore. There's not two parts to it, it's just the one. piece. So there's the word hello. Okay, let's group all of that together, or I could just delete it all. Okay, anybody have any questions?
Well, there's nobody written any.
Okay, what do you guys want to do next? Heart number 1, heart number 2, or whoops, the anchor? You guys, somebody tell me, or tell us in the chat, what would you like to do next? Heart number 1, heart number 2, or the anchor?
Anchor from.
I see anchors.
Mm-hmm.
Yay, anchors is winning. So remember, as I said, these images aren't ones that we can use like to sell anywhere. These are images that I grabbed off the internet for us to just use. So just be aware of that. I'm sure there are anchors that you can find for free to use, but I really didn't want to take too much time. Okay, need a little time to play with the ones we have. I was watching you sign behind. Not which ones that we have, Nancy. I'm not sure I know what you mean.
You talking about the ones with the baseball and all? Is that the ones you're talking about, Nancy?
Oh, the ones we already have been doing. Okay. Okay, but we'll just continue on with the anchor, and then you can continue on playing with whichever one you want to. So, oh, I guess what I did on this one was I just put anchors away just for something to do. So the first thing I did was come over. Let me get these out of the way. I don't like it when there's a bunch of junk clearing up our screen. Okay. So the first thing that I did, and I have these all prepared for you guys so that you don't have to trace them or anything. So the first thing, of course, that I did, like I'm saying, is I came over here to the text tool, clicked on it, and then just typed in capital letters anchors. And I just came over to the text tool again because I want this on a separate line away. Okay. So we'll just leave it as Arial just for our playing. And we could put it like this. And, we could just, let me resize it a little bit first. And put it in here. Just still resizing it. And you could be pretty happy with it just like that. But if you really want it to look professional and have it follow the lines, I think that you can do a little bit of warp editing and it makes it look just a little better. So I'd click on the word away also and just resize it, bring it over here. And again, I could just leave it like this if I wanted to, kind of tilted. And that looks pretty good, But if you want to make it look just a wee bit better, what you can do is the editing. Okay, so I'm going to move these back out of here because what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on this and I'm going to Control D on my keyboard, or I can hold the Alt key down and drag one over. So I have a second one. Leave that one over there for now. This one I'm going to grab and I'm going to try to come over here and see what happens when I do the offset panel. And I'm going to offset. Okay, look at that offset. That can give you a little hint. This isn't a very good image that I found here. Look how jaggedy that offset is. That's because the image itself is not very good for our purposes. See how, look at these jaggedy edges. So you really even wouldn't want to use this one ever because your machine would just go totally crazy trying to cut all that junk. But let me do this. So the reason why I wanted, whoopsie, the offset was to make it easier so we know where to put our letters up and to, because we don't want them to hit up here, the black lines. So what we can do is just drag this part away So I probably really didn't need to make a duplicate. And I'm going to put the word anchors. It's going to go up in here. And the word away is going to go in here. Okay. So I need to adjust the size of this. I can tell a little bit more. And we'll work on the word anchors first. So the first thing that I'll do after I have it selected is I'll come way over here to that little pop-out arrow on mine. And I got to move the chat. And I'm going to go to the warp tool again. Warp. And I'm going to warp the selected shape. But you know what I'm going to do before I do that? I just remembered I'm going to be smart. Well, no, I'm not, because I was going to change this to a different size point. Yep, I can. I'm sorry. So all you have to do to change this to a different size point is to select the outer edge. Let me show you. So you know your trace looks like this, and that's going to be kind of hard to see. So if I just select the trace, that gets all of it. And then I can just come up here to the point size, the line size. And I actually just changed mine to a 4. I think I'll do a 3 this time. Hit enter. It makes it a lot easier to see what I'm trying to do. I'll click off of that, and then I'll click on the word anchors, because that's what I want to warp. So while anchors is selected, I'm going to come up here to warp selected shapes. And there we go. And once again, I'm going to change this. I'm going to change the number of columns to 3. And I'll leave the rows to 1 right now. See what happens. So I'm going to click back on it. Well, let me scroll in. And I recommend you scroll in often, because it really helps. Using that little tool that I say looks like a bug for some reason to me. And then just highlight what you want to scroll into. All right, so the first thing I'm going to do is just start with those outer edges again. So I'm going to bring the A up like that. And I'll start down here at the bottom with the A and bring it down to there. Then I'll come over to the S, and I'll just bring it up like that and bring it down like that. Okay. Then I'm going to do the O. So what I'm doing is I'm just adjusting the the little orange square places first. Oops, too high. There. And bring the C down like that. Okay, that's looking pretty good. Now I need to start working on the other parts. So I can use these little, go to the next little orange or red ones, and I start using those next. And I just start adjusting those. To bring my letters down so they're touching that line. So again, I'm using the rounded ones. Come down here to this rounded one below the H, drag it down. Okay, and I'm up here above the R, drag that one up to make the R go up further. So basically what I'm showing you I do is I usually do these squares first. And then the next thing that I do, and you may find a better way for you, is I do these little round ones next. And then the last thing that I do if I need to are these little black or blue ones, depending on what your screen looks like. So that is that. So I'm just manipulating these, trying to make them fit in there nicely. Okay, it's looking good. Okay, I'm pretty satisfied with how that's turned out. I think it's going to be okay just like that. Let's see, could be a little better in the end, but I'm pretty happy with that. So I'm going to click on it, click out, and click back on. And then I'm going to say release warp. And again, remember now, if I wasn't happy with this, how it turned out at all, I could start all over again by going to restore original shape. But I'm satisfied. So I'm going to say release the warp. And I'm going to get rid of the red part. So I'm going to click on that. Whoops. And delete it. And I'll bring my original shape back in, which is over here. Bring it right up in here. And as you can see, it fits in there pretty well. I'm satisfied with that. Let's make it smaller so you can get a better look. I should have saved my original one so we could see how if it looked better when you curved it a bit. Here's a way, and now we're going to try to curve that one as well a little bit. And again, like I said, you might be happy with it just like this. Pretend you're not if you are happy with it. And let's just make it a little better. And this time, I'm going to have to come over here again to this one on the right because I deleted my the one that I added the offset to. So I'm going to come over to the offset panel again. Click on that. I'm going to offset it. And I can move the black one out. Hopefully, yep. And remember what I did was I just clicked on this red one and I clicked on it and came right up here and changed the size to 3 and hit enter on my keyboard. That made it a thicker line so it's easier for me to see. And now I'm just going to bring the word away over on here. I'm going to group all of this and move it so I can move this over onto my mat. Okay, and so now, like I said, I always like to scroll way in so I can see what I'm doing and you can see more easily what I'm doing. And you can see that it's not perfectly nice. You know, pretend like you want it to fit a little bit better. So what time is it? Let me check.
It's 9:40.
Okay. Oh, we better get busy, right? Okay, so the next thing I have to do then is just to go ahead and click on this. And again, come down here to the arrow, bring out the warp feature, the warp tool. And I'm going to warp the selected image because I have the word away selected. Just warp that. And I'm going to change the number of columns again because I like to have more columns. And I kind of get an idea of how many letters I have, and I just play around with it. So I'll just leave it like that. Oops. When you lose it, click off, click back on, and it comes right back. So again, I would just start with the letter A, get it to go up to the top. And again, I'm starting with the larger squares. That's how I begin. Then I'll come to the next large square, or I could go from side to side as I've shown you I've done before. And bring this down here like that. Okay. And I'll just continue on from left to right. I'll go to the W down here and up at the top. Coming from left to right, I'll go to the A, come down, finish the A, or kind of finish it. The Y looks pretty good up at the top, maybe make it a little smaller, and looks pretty good at the bottom, like that. Okay, so I finished the general overall warping with the bigger tool. Now I come into the little rounder ones that let me refine it a little bit more. See how the A was like above, this A up here. And now when I use this little round tool, I can move it down like that. And here the A line is a little bit outside. So I can refine it again with this little rounded tool edge. And maybe a little bit more with this little rounded edge. There we go. All right, that looks pretty good. This W doesn't quite fit all the way to the top. So I can either stretch it still a little bit with this, and I can refine it with the little rounded tool. Whoops, I lost it. Click out, click back in, and again, refine all of these edges. Okay, so we can continue on with that one, but I think we need to carry on and go to the next image. So you can finish working on this at your leisure if you want to keep practicing. I'm just going to delete this one so we can go on to something else now. So let's see, I'm going to use this tool up here, which is one of my very favorite, Fit to Window, and it allows me to see more of the things that are here on my screen. So we've already done the anchor. Let's see, let's do the, let's have you vote again. You want to do the beach club or you want to do baseball? In the chat, let me know, beach club or baseball. What we'll do on the baseballs, we'll be changing the word championship, and I'll show you how, refresh your memory on how to use the word or our brand ball font to make baseball and the swoosh. For beach club, we will add something else in here. Beach club?
2 beach clubs and a base. Oh yeah, we got 3 beach clubs and 1
Okay,
base.
I like the beach club. All right, we'll start with the beach club and we'll see how much time we have. So bring your beach club over. Oh, the beach club, looky here now. I don't have that one ready for you. Notice that there's that little square around it. Okay, so we need to get rid of that square, and hopefully everyone remembers how to do that. It involves tracing. So we're going to come over here to the piece of toast, click on that for the trace tool, and we're going to say select trace area. And we're just going to come over here and go like this and draw a box around it. And what I usually like to do, as you know, is to scroll in to see what it looks like. Okay, to me, that's looking like a pretty good trace. Let me scroll around and look. I'm not sure about this little spot right here between the E and the B, but we'll just go with it as it is. So I'm just going to say trace and scroll out a little bit. So now, as you'll recall, all you do is get rid of this original piece. So I can just delete it. I don't need it. And what we're going to do is we're going to put something else in here instead of the word beach club. So the first thing we need to do is, I like to do this, is always click on the outermost edge and put a little color in this because it makes it easier to grab everything you want to grab. So you come up here to the color tool area, click on that, and I always like to make it just a light color so I can still see everything. Okay, wow. Okay, so that looks pretty good. Now the next thing we want to do is we want to get rid of the word beach club in here, the words beach and club. So what I have to do now is to come up here to Object. Whoops, I got to click on it first. Nothing's happening. I got to have something selected. And I come up here to Object and Release Compound Path. And as you remember, that puts little boxes around everything. So all we have to do then is come over here and get rid of the word beach club. And I'm hoping I'm just grabbing that right now. See what happens. Yeah, I did pretty good. So I'm going to grab all the word beach club and take it right out of there. And I'm going to click on it to keep it highlighted and delete it. Now there's some more junk left in here that I don't want. So I'm going to go again, grab this stuff and delete. All right. Now you'll notice that the D and the O and those things have been filled in, and I really didn't want them to be filled in. So I believe if I highlight all of this and come up to the top and go to Object, Make Compound Path, that it goes back to the exact way I need it to be. So again, what I did there, it looked like this because I had released the compound path, remember, so I could get those pieces out. Now if I highlight everything again and come up here to Object and make a compound path, it fixes it to exactly how I want it to be. Now let's see. I think the next thing that I will do is, since this is all highlighted, I'm going to come over again to the offset panel and I'm going to click on offset. So that makes a really nice offset for me to know, how far I want to go. And those lines are great. I'm going to make them bigger, as I've been doing, by coming up here, maybe changing it to a 3 and hit enter on my keyboard, which makes them darker. But now I need to put a word in here. Okay, one more time. In the chat, please tell me what word to put in there. Who can think of a word really quick that we can put in here for the practice? Beach ball. Beach club, beach ball, beach club, beach club. Oh, wait, that's the name of the one we're using. What should I put in there? Vacation. Uh-oh, Nancy. Okay, I'll do vacation, I hope. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to come over here to the text tool, type in the word vacation, and once again, I always use all caps because it's easier for me, and I think it looks better. And, you can change the font if you want to. I think I'll just leave it like this. Maybe I should change it to, no, I think I'm going to change it to impact. I highlighted it all. Oopsie, I made the chat very huge. Uh-oh, hold on one second, you guys. Okay. Dang, I did it again. Okay, so here we have the word vacation, and I'm going to come over here and change it to impact. And hit enter. And it went to Arial. Okay, what's up? Why does it keep going back to Arial? I'm going to go over here to the right-hand side, over here, and change it instead. And I'll just click on the frequently used one, which was impact, and change it. And there we go. All right. So now I'm just going to bring it over in here. And I'm going to stretch it. And I probably could have left my original there just so I could see how theirs looked, to try to make mine mimic it. So I'm going to guess make it a little bit wider. I'm kind of looking at this base down here to try to see how I might like it to be. Oops. Okay. That's good. And so now what I'm going to do is select that and come over here once again to the little arrow that lets that other menu shoot out. Get the warp tool. Click on it. I have the word vacation selected, so that's what I'm going to warp. So warp the selected shape. And again, I'm going to add, and quite honestly, I'd like to add more than that, but boy, it gets to be a mess when you add too many. I'll have 5. We'll see how this goes. And I'll just leave it like that. So I'm going to begin warping the V first on the left. And gee, I don't know if I like it that far out, but we'll see. And I think this time what I will do is, and oh, I do want it to come up to the little offset I made. All right, then I'm going to come way over to the right and do the N. And again, as you'll notice, I'm starting with the larger orange blocks first. So then I go to the left to the A and just stretch it up, get it all the way up to that line, and bring it down here. The C. And I'm just going across. And let me zoom in so you can see some of the issues that I'm having. So notice that the A is getting all swoop-de-doop down and the D or T looks weird, but we're going to fix that. We're just on our first line of work right now with the squares. Come over here to this little square. And this would be a cool way for you guys to make, what do you call it, Tammy? What were we talking about that people could make yesterday? Their own
Logo. Yeah,
logos. Yeah, logo.
Logos.
Yeah, thanks. All right. So I've done pretty much with the first line, the boxes. I'm pretty happy with that, I guess. All right, now I'm going to go back and I'm going to start grabbing the little handles and fixing things with that. So I'm going to start up here at the V and notice it's not all the way up at the top. See if I can get it to go just like that. And I'll just go across the top to begin with. Here's the A. All of it's not at the top. I'll grab this little guy and bring this up. Here's another A. Bring up. And notice it's not all the way up, but I can grab this little one here and bring it up. And that brought up the T nicely. So, this isn't as hard as what it seems. It may be hard for y'all right now, but practice it for a day or so, and you're going to find that it's a lot of fun to actually move these things how you want them to be if you have your own shape. Let's bring that one down, bring it up. And this is kind of a mess right here. Not sure that I can fix that right now. All right, so we'll come down to the bottom here now at the end. I need to use this little tool right here, this little thing, just drag that end part down. This end isn't long enough, so again, grab this, drag it down. The I looks like it needs dragged down. The T looks okay. The A could be fixed a tiny little bit, maybe. The C looks okay. This A over here does not look good, so I'll move this part up and this part down. Okay, so that's pretty good right there. I would just leave it like that. I could mess with this again and again, like I said, but we're running out of time. So what I would do now is just click off, click back on, and then say, release the warp. And then I would probably grab these and group them. And let's get rid of this offset guy. Okay, my hub knows what I'm doing, and he's texting me if you hear that noise, and I'm not going to look and see what he's saying. Okay. Minimize this now. And where's our original? I made an original, didn't I?
I think you deleted it.
Did I delete my original? Oh my goodness me. Well.
Oh, it looks good.
Let's see. It looks fine. Oh yeah, you're right. It looks good. I just got rid of that. That's fine. So I could change the coloring if I wanted to change it all to some other color. If I wanted it all to be black, I could get rid of the red line. That won't really show up anyway. So I think that turned out really cute. I mean, that was pretty easy, don't you think, to move out that one word and add that? So I would just group all of this together. And that's pretty much it. Let's see what other images we had over here. We only have like 1 minute left. Do you have any questions about these? I believe you know how to do them now. It's just going to take practice. Does anybody have any questions? I need to find my chat.
They don't. I think you said something about an easy way.
Oh, yes. Thank you. I told you to remind me of that just in case I forgot. Okay, so this is how we did all this, right? Now, if you want to know the easy peasy way to do it, now you're not going to be able to put it in your own little shape necessarily. But if you want to do something, look up here at this little part of the tool right here that says ABC. Click on that one time and look at all these things that you can do. So, for example, if you want to write the word silhouette, S-I-L-O-U-T-E. Okay, and I'm going to make it larger. And get rid of this. Okay, so all I need to do is select that and come over here and select any one of these shapes and watch what's going to happen. Bingo, there it is. Just like that, silhouette, and you can shape it any way you like it to be. Okay, I don't like that one, say I can change it to something else, just like that. That's kind of like that one we started doing in the beginning, right? Just like that. This one. I just think this is cool, but the reason why I like the other, knowing how to do the other way too, is because you may have your own shape that you want to put words into, and these won't fit the canned way. But I think it's really a lot of fun to mess with. My favorite one is this one right here, just because I think it's cool because it makes it look really 3D. You can really mess with this. It's just fun. You could play with this all day. Just like that a lot. But anyway, there's a whole slew of them over here, and this is the easy peasy way. Another thing you can do, and I haven't worked with it yet, but oh, you like the easy peasy? And do appreciate different ways to do things. Yeah, me too. Got to play around.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Oh, like a pea. Okay. All right. So let me show you one other thing. Now, I haven't really messed with this too much, but this right here, if you want to do one of those cups, you know how everybody's doing the Starbucks cups and that kind of stuff? All you do is that you measure over here what your cup size is, and then after you have those measurements in, you apply it, and it's going to change your shape to fit that cup size.
That's neat.
Yeah, but I haven't really worked with it yet. Okay, there's the shape. See that? And then I would put oops, where did it? Anyway, get the idea. It's 11:02, and we're not really going over that one today. Basically, I just wanted to show you this one because I absolutely love it. I think y'all would really like playing around with that. What I had done on one of the samples I was making was I put a team's name in here, and then I changed the colors up to be the team's name. And remember, we have the font, a lot of you do, the brand ball font, where we can make this ourselves and the swoosh and just make it look cool and professional. So, okay, anybody else have any other questions or comments? Oh, yes, do rewatch it. I think I've told you guys before, the reason why I started doing these videos was because I would forget. We learn so much stuff. I would forget how to do stuff, so I had to watch my own videos to remind myself. Oh, that would have been somebody, Christine said, put sunny. That would have been a pretty word to put in there too, in that one. Okay, well, I guess that's it for today. I'll be uploading this later, and the very beginning won't rewatch on a bigger screen. The other part, the very, very beginning won't be on because I forgot to press record, but we'll just start in where we are. And thank you, Roxana, for inviting us into your room today. We enjoy playing in your room. All right. See you guys later.
Enjoyed it.
Thank you. Bye. Oh, don't forget to put your stuff online too. Show and tell.